This has gotta be your go-to. You gotta try this. You gotta try it. Bro, it's so good. Yeah, these are fire. These are so good. If you have a sweet tooth and you're on a diet, this is like, make this as soon as possible. All right, what's going on, guys? Chef Walker back with another protein recipe video. And before we get into the video, if you have any recipes, protein recipes that you wanna see me make, drop them in the comments right now. But today we have protein cinnamon rolls, and this is pretty much everything we got in front of me. There is almond flour, we have coconut sugar, the raw whey protein blend, the glazed donut, one of my favorites. We have a banana, True Whip, cinnamon, oil, almond milk, and a little baking powder. And yeah, this is what we're gonna put together for the cinnamon rolls. And super simple. All we need is one big mixing bowl, a smaller, just like regular bowl, and to mash up the banana and just mix everything together, we need a fork or whatever utensil you want. But pretty much just gonna start out by adding the banana to the bowl, obviously without the peel, and just start mixing everything else. So let's get to it. Well, the recipe calls for half of a banana, but I'm just gonna double the recipe because I'm gonna eat some of this. I'm gonna have somebody else try it too. So we're going double. So we're doing a full banana. Recipe says half, but honestly, you can do what you want. And also one more thing, I forgot to mention that we need measuring utensils. So any kind of measuring cup will be good. And the recipe calls for half a cup of flour. We are using almond flour, just in case if you're gluten-free, you can still have this. And like I said, doubling the recipe, so we're gonna get a full cup here instead of a half, and mix it right into the banana. And one more thing, you need a teaspoon to measure out the baking powder. So forgot that, but we got it now. And it calls for 1 teaspoon, but obviously since we're doubling the recipe, you gotta do 2. So that's what we're getting now. Beautiful. All right, last thing you're gonna need is a tablespoon. And the recipe calls for half a tablespoon of almond milk, but we're gonna do a full. Looks a little chunky, but we'll make it work.
Oh my.
You see it?
Yeah.
I swear it's not bad. I went to Publix this morning and got this, so I promise we're not making some disgusting stuff over here. We got a tablespoon of that in there. Done with the majority of the ingredients. Just gotta mix it up right now. The thing that's really gonna blend this together is the banana. So the more ripe your banana is and less hard it is, the better it's gonna mix. But it is gonna take a minute, so stay tuned. All right, and one more thing. I forgot to add the protein, which is the most important part of the recipe. So you gotta grab your glazed donut, or I think the vanilla oatmeal cookie. No, probably the cinnamon crunch would be the best in this since it's a cinnamon roll. But the glazed donut sounds pretty good too. So just honestly, you can add 1 or 2 scoops. And if I had another banana, I would add 2, but I'm just gonna do 1.5 right now. So solid 30-something grams of protein. Got a little dry with the extra protein, so I'm just gonna do another tablespoon of the chunky almond milk and mix that up. See if it does it. But if it's too powdery and it's not mixing well enough, just keep adding that little by little, because you don't want it too soupy, because you want it to be a dough. But it seems to be just about there, so it's looking good. Sprinkle some almond flour down, because at this point the dough is ready and it looks pretty good. It's not too wet, which is perfect. And we're just laying this down so it doesn't stick, but I'm trying to spread it out. Plop it down. You're gonna want to flatten it out. And the main point with this is that we're gonna add some cinnamon to it in the next step. And you don't want it to be too thick, because you don't want your rolls to be too thick. So cinnamon is probably one of my favorite spices in the world. So I don't think you can go too heavy on this, and based on your preference, you can add however much you'd like. But for the sake of the video, probably do just about 2 tablespoons, but I'm just gonna sprinkle it on, make it look good. And then once that is ready, you're gonna take your dough, you're gonna roll it up. Now you have this log of cinnamon roll. You're gonna need one more thing. You're gonna need a knife to cut it. So let me go grab that real quick. So I got the knife. You could probably use a butter knife, but just this is a really cool looking knife. And you're gonna wanna chop it into pieces about that yay thick, maybe an inch, a little bit more than an inch, or however big you want your cinnamon rolls. So, oof, that looks amazing. So I'm happy that I went hefty with the cinnamon because I love cinnamon, and there is some spilling out, so never go wrong too much. Next step is to grab your bowl, grab your cinnamon buns or cinnamon rolls, and start tossing them in there. I don't think we're gonna fit all these, but just about 4 or so. I could fit another one, but you know what? I'm gonna squeeze it in. Why not? The more the merrier. So we got 5 cinnamon rolls in there. I'm gonna pop it into the microwave for about 1 minute 30 seconds, but based on how it looks texture-wise, might pop it in for a little bit longer. So while that's in the microwave, I'm only putting it in for 1 minute and 30 seconds because I want to make the topping for it first, and I don't want it to cook all the way. So I'm gonna make that real quick, have that finish up, put the topping on, and then put it back in the microwave for about like another 30 seconds or maybe a minute. So for this, you're gonna need the True Whip or Cool Whip, coconut milk, whatever you wanna use. But this is what I chose. This is gluten-free, so keeping the entire recipe gluten-free if you need it to be. Taking this, some of the coconut sugar, and a little bit of the oil. I'm gonna grab another bowl because we use that bowl. We're gonna mix that up in there. So we're just gonna do a little splash of this guy into the bowl, just a little bit, probably about a teaspoon. I'm gonna crack this open, get the True Whip moving. And also this is really good to use rather than like coconut milk or something, just because you can eat it by itself when you're done with this recipe. And I'm not too sure if you want to eat coconut milk by itself. For this, I'm just gonna take the tablespoon. I'm gonna use a lot more than that, but just to scoop it out, get it into the bowl, use this, toss her in there. And I don't think you can ever have too much icing, too much topping, or anything like that. So I'm gonna go a little crazy with this. Do just about 3 scoops, and then I'm gonna toss in a little bit of the sugar. So this is gonna sweeten it up a little bit, even though it's already sweet. Always good to make it a little bit sweeter. And for this, we're gonna take a tablespoon of the coconut sugar, actually 2 tablespoons, and we're gonna toss it in there. Beautiful. Mix this up. And then we're gonna take this, once it's all combined, we're gonna drop it onto the cinnamon roll and then put it back into the microwave for about 30 seconds. And we're gonna see if she's done or not. So it's looking pretty good. If you want consistency, probably something like that. Just something easy to spread, something easy to pour out. I'm gonna grab these real quick, and they look amazing. They kind of fluffed out a lot. They look really good. So I'm gonna take this, drop it on there. Oh yeah, that's gonna be so good. Golly.
All right, Merc.
I feel like it's also really good to do a little bit extra on the icing because there is a lot of leftover in the bowl. So just to get as much as you can, try to use something like a spoon, not a fork. But this is looking pretty good.
It smells crazy.
Yeah, it smells really good. I'm gonna try this.
It's probably fire.
It's good. It's really sweet. It's good though. So I'm gonna take this, put it in for about another 30, and we're gonna see if it's good. All right, so since I used the True Whip rather than the coconut milk, it didn't really seep into the cinnamon rolls how I wanted it to. So just for the sake of the video, I know this is gonna taste amazing, but I wanna show you guys what they look like. So I'm gonna try to scoop it out of here without messing it up too much. Like so. I don't know if you can see the cinnamon roll beneath that, but it does look really good. All right, so we try to take a little thumbnail picture, but it looks amazing just like that. I pulled one apart, and this is a singular cinnamon roll, and I'm gonna try it for the first time, so. You gotta try it. Oh, it's so good. It tastes, there's a decent amount of banana taste. You don't taste the protein at all. Definitely go heavy on the cinnamon and go heavy on the topping too. If you can even make some to have to like dip in at the end, that would be so good. But yeah, these are fire. These are so good. Gotta try it. I already ate just about half of this. I'm trying to get down this last bite. But these are amazing. This is like, if you have a sweet tooth and you're on a diet, and if you're just craving something really sweet or you're craving a cinnamon roll, this has gotta be your go-to. You gotta try this. Absolutely amazing. And I'm not just saying that. It speaks for itself. So give it a go, try it out. And definitely, it was a great call using the glazed donut. If you do use the cinnamon crunch or just the cinnamon protein raw does have, it'll be that much better. So get some of that, get all these ingredients, and make this as soon as possible. But thank you guys for watching. And like I said in the beginning of the video, if you have any recipes that you want to see me make, just drop them in the comments. But like this video, share this video, comment on the video, and I'll see you guys next time.